All right. All right. I promised. I was more of a threat than a promise, but he's back. And he's going to be here tonight. We're going to squeeze him in tomorrow night. I'm going to have him back Wednesday night. And so we're going to... You know, I was thinking earlier, this is kind of like... It's sort of like... Christmas Eve. But I like Christmas, so I don't want to say that. But it's...
No, don't mess up Christmas.
No. I mean, we got enormous problems. And I was thinking last hour, talking about this, in fact, both hours, what is the message that we as a nation are sending to the world if we allow this wretch to take charge of the country and put her pedophile, pervert, rapist husband in charge of our economy? She was our top diplomat as Secretary of State. And now this thief, this treasonous, treacherous traitor, what is the message we're sending to the world? That America is formally and officially, not de facto, but formally, now a criminal nation?
Well, I'll tell you the message. It was articulated in early 1964 by John J. McCloy. You really ought to look up John J. McCloy.
I know the name. You talked to me about him before.
Well, John J. McCloy in the 1930s was the CEO of National City Bank, which is now Citicorp, and was the largest lender of money to Hitler and Nazi Germany. Okay,
right.
And in fact, John J. McCloy sat with Hitler in his private box at the 1936 Olympics,
right.
And then he went on to become a powerful member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and the word got around that if you needed a position in Washington, just get hold of John J. McCloy, and he would tap the Council on Foreign Relations and give you somebody to put in that position. Then in 1964, he was sitting on the Warren Commission to try to figure out who actually killed President
John he didn't know?
Kennedy. And right early on in their hearings, before they had even, this was in January, before they had even, they'd only been created for a couple of weeks, and they hadn't even began really investigating. And it's right there in the Warren Commission minutes. He says, well, the thing that is the most paramount importance is to show the world that the United States is not just another banana republic. Well, folks, I hate to break the news to you.
Yeah, well, you go right ahead.
We're just another banana republic.
You're damn right we are.
Okay? And we have been subjected to at least 3 coup d'etats, okay?
Yeah.
Coup d'etat, French word, essentially means a change of government through a violent act, okay? Now, it all began actually with the creation of the Council on Foreign Relations about 1921. They managed to maneuver Republican Herbert Hoover into office just as things were crumbling and we had the Great Depression, so they could blame it on them, so they could put a Democrat in office, which was Franklin Roosevelt, who then went, on the plus side, he did ameliorate the Great Depression. On the negative side, it was by socializing the whole nation, okay? And we're still living with the ongoing encroachment over a participatory democratic republic by a leftist socialist type government. But the real coup came in November the 22nd, 1963, when they shot Kennedy's head off and replaced him with Johnson and the war machine and the mafia and all the big corporations, and it was a coup.
See, that wasn't an assassination. It was a coup d'etat. It was much bigger than the assassination, although we lost our president.
And there were many, many prominent people who personally had no direct connection to that coup d'etat, but who understood that the power had shifted, and they meekly went along with it. Okay?
Nicely said, yeah.
Then we get to 1980, and we finally got another Republican in office, Okay, and that was Ronald Reagan, a movie star. That was his qualifications. And, I was telling my wife the other day after the Cowboys won again, I can't wait. In just a few more years, you'll find that some star football player will run for president and probably get it.
Well,
okay?
Jack Kemp made it to Congress, remember?
There you go. And Sonny Bono, rock and roll singer, hey, this is the country of opportunity. Anybody can make it. Okay, so Reagan gets in, but wait a minute. 2 months into his presidency, he's shot. And George Herbert Walker took over. Okay?
That was supposed to be the second coup.
Exactly. The problem was the bullet missed Reagan's
quarter inch.
About a fourth of an inch or so, okay? And he managed to survive. But, of course, then he got Alzheimer's and he couldn't remember anything.
That was from the transfusion. They probably gave it to him.
Oh, yeah, they put something in him. Yeah. Okay, and so then it's just been back and forth and muddle along until they got Bill Clinton in, and he was able to really screw the pooch. He really got the ball rolling, and then here comes George W. And they're both playing for the same team. They're both playing for the New World Order. But there was not an active coup. But now this one, tomorrow, is another coup. Now, we'll have to wait and see if there's going to be a violent act. There's already been plenty of attempts. Let's not forget the FBI agent with an unregistered gun who was thought to be dead, who they caught sneaking into Trump's headquarters. Let's not forget the guy that they were hollering, gun, 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 who they grabbed and hustled out and hustled Trump off the stage and didn't let the guy go. Okay, that's what?
The guy in Reno you're talking about, let me add a little bit to that. He was said by people there to be wearing a bulletproof vest and had an empty holster on his hip, a sidearm holster. The gun itself was apparently picked up by whoever was working with him and hustled out of there real quick. They got it away from him somehow. This guy, you'd think, in any case, he'd be held, interrogated, grilled for a couple of weeks. They let him go last night.
Yeah. Now,
just like Barry Lee Bush, they let him go immediately.
The fix is in. So, but I say this is a coup because so far there hasn't been a violent act except for the violence that's been instigated by the Hillary Clinton people, and that's been well verified by the undercover work that's been done in the videos.
Absolutely.
That are out there.
Yep.
They have admitted to it, okay, and talked about how they hired people to go and start trouble at Trump rallies. We all know that. But all we hear in the mass media is the violence at Trump rallies, like somehow they're causing all the problem. They didn't cause the problem. It was the Hillary Clinton people that caused all the problem. People are just getting swamped with, what?
Disinformation, James.
Disinformation.
Let me say,
I was thinking of the more common term, but okay.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to take this moment. I know he's not listening, but I want to personally commend and praise Donald Trump. If for no other reason, you've got to give this man astonishing amounts of credit for withstanding the most abuse that anybody has ever had to go through running for the presidency. Non-stop abuse, degradation, defamation, you name it. And he has withstood it, and he is as strong as an oak tree, and that guy has campaigned like a 20-year-old. It's amazing, and I think he deserves credit for that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think he deserved credit even over and above that.
Oh, of course he does. That's just for
simply
openers.
drawing the public's attention to how controlled we are by a corporately controlled mass media and by a democratic machine that is corrupt to the core. They'll do anything up to and including murder, apparently.
Oh,
okay. And have finally, some of the most sleepy-headed ones of us have finally, Trump has kind of woke us up, and it's kind of like, well, wait a minute.
Jim, he's done more as a candidate than many people have done as president. To wake people up and educate them, show them the truth. It's rigged, and he's right. Everything he says originally is considered outrageous. And then a few months later,
he said
it's
turned
true.
out to be true. It's true. I know. And still there are dunderheads who go, yeah, but she's a woman.
Oh, jeez. I tell you.
Oh, man.
I know.
I swear, it's
It is over the top.
Well, Bonnie Parker couldn't be too bad. She was a woman.
God, I tell you.
Of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Come on, It's, and I think I've said this before, but I want to make it abundantly clear. I personally have no problem with a woman as president of the United States.
That's not the issue.
I think it's long overdue, frankly, and to sum it up, they can't possibly screw things up any worse than the men have done, okay? So, yeah, I'm all for a woman president, but not Hillary. Hillary is a thief. And when you said thieves, I'm sure somebody's going, boy, he's really cranking up his rhetoric. No, it's not rhetoric.
No, she's a mega thief.
They stole furniture out of the White House. And it was in all the headlines back in the 90s, okay? They made them give back tables and chairs and paintings and stuff they stole out of the White House. They're thieves.
Yeah, well, let's go up to Haiti and the earthquake and the 7.6 billion or whatever, 7 point something. And Obama and Ban Ki-moon put the Clinton Foundation in charge of every penny of that money, and they asked the Haitians how many housing units were built. Oh, no, a few high-rise hotels. I think they built 2,000 small housing units, and that's it. The Clintons, before Haiti, were multimillionaires. After Haiti, they were billionaires.
That's right.
They took a hell of a lot of that $7 billion, probably half of it.
When they first got into politics before Bill got elected president, the paperwork shows that they were worth a little under $1 million. Okay, they're now worth $111 million now.
They're billionaires in Dubai, wherever it is.
That's just what's on the record.
That's right.
And I've got to quote Harry Truman, who said that in politics, you really can't make any money unless you're crooked. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, Harry knew.
Pretty well tells it right there.
Right.
And yet, think of the idiots that are going to go out tomorrow and vote for this criminal, this sadist, this pedophile.
Oh, and let's can we talk about that just a little bit, because and I know many of the listeners have been following it. I've got it up on my homepage. The whole story is there. These people, this is the dirty secret, and I guess Assange figured this would knock her out. He didn't quite get the fact that the media owns and controls the minds of too many people for that to happen. He
didn't know that the FBI could go through 750,000 emails in 3 days. Although on Hillary's 30,000 emails, it took them 6 months or more.
It took a year. Took a
year. Come on, folks.
No, it was 606.
It's a fix. It's all fixed.
665,000 emails in 681,000 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, sounds like me the time I took a speed reading course and I ended up reading War and Peace in 15 minutes, okay?
Wow.
I think it was about Russia.
Wow. Yeah, you got it. It's percolated right on in there. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's about all I got. I think it was about Russia.
Well, we know now, though, and if you're interested in this, go look at the second political art piece I have on the homepage. Look at the satanic ritual abuse, pedophilia, all manner of the most depraved, disgusting, evil, demonic crap that these people are up to their eyeballs in. That's the big secret. I call it the cult. Call it whatever you want. It's the cult. It's not just here. It's in England. It's everywhere. It's around the world. And I'll tell you another thing. It's in your town, ladies and gentlemen. It is in your town. It is everywhere. Every town has a satanic asset to it that you'll never hear about unless you're part of it. And God help you if you are, because you don't get out.
That's right.
That's
right, and if you get in too deep, you're not going to get out.
No, you'll die. They'll kill you.
Except feet first.
Yep, if they even find your feet. And And that's a damn truth. And another aspect of this. We've been talking for years about this kind of stuff and how human life means nothing. They have no problem as Satanists, Luciferian, demonic Satanists, killing little babies, sacrificing little children, sacrificing teenagers. They don't have a problem with it. There's an endless supply of humans that are being sacrificed. I used to say this can't be, it can't be. But when you count up every year the number of missing people in this country and go back and look at the Johnny Gosch story, just as one example, read the Kathy O'Brien book. I think it's over the top, but there's a lot of truth to it. And others. These sex slaves, mind control, MK Ultra. You're captured as a child, basically, or turned over by your parents, whatever, to the cult, and you're raped, and you're exposed to satanic ritual abuse, possibly human sacrifice, God only knows what else. They fragment your brain. You're still round and whole like a ball, but it's like one of those disco balls with all the little facets of glass glued onto the ball. It's not one round ball anymore. Those are called multiple personality disorder issues. DID. They're fragments of your original personality. They're variations. And you are completely under the control of these people for the rest of your life. They retain control of many of these personality variants. They call you for work. They order you. They'll do whatever they want with you. You're never free of them once you're captured. It's very hard to get out. Very hard.
Absolutely. Read the Franklin cover-up if you want.
Oh, yeah. That's the perfect Bible of this whole thing. The Franklin cover-up.
And better than that, let's all think back about this time last year when we were getting stories out of England, how some of the top politicians and the top people who are involved in this pedophile ring, right? And then it was stretching over, and it included people in North America. Remember that? No, you don't remember that because there's.
Oh, remember the BBC? All the BBC star jocks, Jimmy Savile. He used to go into mental hospitals and rape and defile these poor children in there. These people are not. They're monstrous. They're not really human.
And they're in leadership positions, and we don't know about it because they own the media.
That's
they own the media. And so, we heard about that briefly last fall, but we've already forgotten about that. And then then they said, and it goes over to the United States, too, and America and Canada. And then all of a sudden, we don't hear about that anymore. They just dropped it like a hot potato because it is a hot potato. And
it'll get you killed.
I've spoken to veteran law enforcement people who go up against an armed gang of dope runners, okay? They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it because it's too high. There's too much political pull going on. And folks, we've got to start coming around. We've got to start cleaning up this act, or it's only going to get, and right now it's Washington, D.C. that's the cesspool, but it's spreading out. And it's in Detroit. It's in Chicago.
Oh, it's in your hometown. I'm telling you.
Every hometown. And if we don't start taking a stand, the good, right, and listen, you don't even have to be a good Christian, okay? If you believe in justice under the law, if you believe in law and order, any kind of a lawful nation, and there are plenty of crimes on the books in all the states against abuse of children. If we don't start enforcing that, I don't care what kind of position they hold, this country is just going to go down the
see, that's what underlies the whole Clinton crime syndicate. It's the lack of enforcement of the laws on the books.
Exactly.
That's how they escape.
And even bigger, the lack of adhering to the Constitution of the United States. More than half the problems we have would go away if we would simply follow the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights.
Ain't going to happen.
They're not doing it.
No.
And it's not because they're just politically correct or because they're dummies. It's because they're criminals. And if anybody that in the sound of my voice, if you go through a vote for Hillary Clinton, you're voting for criminals in a criminal clique.
You're voting for people who are already engineering your death and demise. And I'm not talking about just this country. I'm talking about they want to bring in 1 million, 2 million. How many Muslims? I don't know. How many Muslims does it take to destroy a country? Look at Germany. Look at Sweden. Look at Europe. It doesn't take that many. in Munich, they're actually building a wall bigger than the Berlin Wall around the Muslim part of the city that the Muslims have taken over. They're walling them in. They don't know what to do with them.
Well, in Paris, I understand, they have secret flying special ops teams that are going into the Muslim neighborhoods, and when they come out, a lot of the more radical Muslims are just not alive anymore. And I really kind of hate to see that, because I have nothing against an honest person who simply wants to practice their, secular orientated Muslim religion. But let's face it, folks, we have a real problem on hand, because within all those good Muslims, there is some real radicals who say, kill all the non-believers.
Well, if the moderates don't stand up and oppose the radicals,
that's right.
It's never going to happen.
Well, but they can't. Number one, they're scared. Number one.
Oh, no, they'll kill them. The Quran calls for their death, Jim.
Yeah, they'll come kill them. And number two, they can't really argue with the radicals, because it's all in the Quran. Kill the unbelievers, okay?
That's what their whole mission is.
That would be like Christians saying, well, I believe in the Bible, but, well, we can't do this and we can't do that, and let's not love our neighbor, and listen, thou shalt not kill, don't worry about that one. And no, you can't do it. It's the religion. In fact, It's the cult. It's the cult.
It's a death sex cult. It's
exactly.
all it is. And they enforce it. Oh, do they enforce it? I've talked to many. I've got videos up on it. Ex-Muslims, they'll tell you. It's 90% who go along and want Sharia law. 10% moderate, may not. But when it comes to call and response, they'll all answer, because they're afraid. It'll be 100% just about. They're afraid. Look, their mission is not to assimilate, is not to respect American culture, way of life, our Constitution, is to destroy it. So why bring them here? Can you tell me why bring them here? It makes no sense. And they are not refugees. That's bull.
When I look at the photographs of all these people crowding into Europe and coming here, very few women and children.
No, they're all They're soldiers, Jim.
They are. And they said so. I've seen several admit to it.
That's right.
We're here for jihad, okay?
Jihad.
And jihad. And the thing is, if it was something about refugees, where's their wives? Where are their children?
No, they're not refugees.
Why did they leave them back in that pest hole that they came from?
No, they need to go back to their pest hole and stay there. This is all a George Soros, communist, Bolshevik, Marxist effort to destroy the West.
And who is aiding and abetting? President Obama. I saw the video myself. He's telling illegal people who cannot by law vote in this country
That's
to
treason.
come on in and to vote, and don't worry, nobody's looking over your shoulder.
That's
Nobody's
treason.
going to be coming after you. That is treason, folks.
Sure it is.
That is absolute treason. It's time we clean out the gutter.
No, that's drain the swamp. Donald is right. I don't think this is going to be over tomorrow. I don't think so at all.
I don't either, unfortunately. Either way it goes, I'll tell you what, here's the deal. If by some chance Donald sweeps in, then the left, radical left, is going to go nuts. You'll have riots in the city, you'll have a cop shot, you'll have all kinds of stuff going on, because they just won't settle for anything other than their victory, okay? And if it swings the other way and Hillary ekes in by some way, nobody, or most people, including myself, and I think you too, Jeff, we will not acknowledge her as a legitimate president.
Absolutely. You got it. Hold on a minute. We'll come right back. Okay, welcome back. There have been a number of stories that various media outlets have been, quote, caught with the election results already in hand. Don't buy that. What they're doing is just running tests. They've got to run tests to make sure all their computer systems are up and operable, and the profiles that they have are simply, they're beta tests, and so don't buy that. All right.
But I don't know.
The results will come from Vietnam.
The fact that they get spread out somewhere shows somebody's putting them out. Okay?
Of course they are. Of course.
Okay. Now it's been traditional okay, ever since the TV and radio came in, that the big corporations that run the major mass media, they, I mean, by midday, on election day, they're already running polls and exit polls, and they're showing, oh yeah, it looks like, and in this case, they say, okay, Hillary's pulling ahead, whether she is or not. They could be lying in their teeth, could be early results that hasn't squared up yet, but it doesn't matter. They'll pour all that out in favor of the candidate they're in favor of, so that people in the other time zones, who it's still early, they're still going to vote, and they hear all this, and psychologically it tells them, well, I don't want to vote for a loser, so I'm going to vote for the one that's going to win.
VNS, Voter News Service, which was forced to be disbanded because it was influencing Western election voting, and they quickly reconstituted it. The networks did it. The major networks did it.
And they all belong to, I forget the name of it right now, but there is a corporation that they all belong to, including the AP, where the whole idea is to consolidate the reporting to save them money, okay? Yeah. But what it really does is
control.
It's control and homogenization of the news so that you hear what they want you to hear. And I want to tell you something. I want to give you a plug nickel for all these polls that's been having. I mean, you can see, when you see
they're all
CNN,
lies.
CNN, New York Times, Hillary's pulling ahead. Oh, she's really ahead. And then you see these little offbeat polls, that are done locally or done by people that aren't those big corporations.
We have
Trump's
300 people.
80%.
300 people that are scientifically tested and evaluated and profiled, and we use those for our poll, and you can count on it. No, the polls that count are those that occur right after the debates, for example, and even though Donald Trump didn't have the questions in advance like somebody else did, he still did wonderfully. And the votes were huge, the online poll. Those are real polls. When you see the Michigan, he came up with another sellout crowd today in Michigan. Enormous. I had the picture. Enormous crowd. Hillary had Beyonce and Jay-Z at some event, and they say it might have been 2,000 people she drew. That was it. That was it.
That's, but you won't tell that but listen to media. Okay,
that's right.
It's absolutely incredible. It really absolutely solidifies in my mind. I mean, I've been preaching for years because I've worked in it, for years, about how controlled the mass media is. And a lot of people go, "Oh no, it can't be that." Yes, it is. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, but now that's another good thing about this contentious election is that more and more people are waking up and realizing that the mass media can, will, and has lied to you. They just lie to you about stuff. Sometimes it's lying by omission. Sometimes it's just commission. Have we all forgotten about Hillary talking about how she was under sniper fire, when she landed over there, wherever it was, and yet we see the
Bosnia.
Bosnia. We see her getting out of the plane. She's smiling, waving, crowds around. Everybody's okay. Little kids are coming up to her. She's just lying. She's just lying, and the media goes along with it. They were there. They were filming the whole thing. Why, when she gets up and says, yes, and when I landed under fire in Bosnia, why didn't somebody with some cojones stand up and say, no,
because they don't want to lose their jobs. They'll be out.
That's true. That's true.
They'll be gone. Look, if you just stop asking Hillary questions, she wouldn't have to lie.
That's right. It's all our fault. Okay. Yeah. Scummy old news media actually asking questions.
They're not news anymore, Jim. Our news media our journalism is gone. It's dead.
There is no journalism. There is no news media. Okay.
When I saw the stories that the Pentagon admitted spending over $500 million on fake terror videos, and how many other hundreds of millions were spent to ply the internet with their own agents and assets, and they hire people in real time. All they do is go from forum to forum, a discussion board to board, and they start fights, and they demean people, and they disparage people. They write stuff up like about me, and they put it up there. Just lies, crap, and they don't stop. They just keep doing it. They got all the money in the world. It's lies. And what are you going to do to try and I just ignore it. Nothing I can do about it. It's just lies.
But the average guy who, occasionally wants to know, I wonder what's really going on, he tunes in. He tunes in, and that's all he gets, and he thinks it's the truth.
I know. That's part of the game, though. All you can do. See, I know, and you know, and most of our listeners are this way. We know our truths. We know who we are. I don't have to prove it to anyone. I'm content with knowing who I am. I'm true to myself and my values. I don't lie. I don't need to. I'm here to do the best job I can, like you do with your books and all your radio appearances. And let me tell you something about Jim Marrs. I don't care how tired this man is. If some radio program that he has respect for, and there are a lot of them, even some he doesn't, ask him if they can, could you please come on, please, he'll do it. He puts himself out. And sometimes I know this. I know Jim. He'll do it for he'll go on one program, and they'll ask him to do 3 hours, not an hour, 3 hours. And they take this man's energy and milk his brain for what? Not to help you, to make themselves look good. That's all they're doing. They're trying to line their nest and make them look like they're big stuff because they got Jim Marrs on. And you're a nice guy like I am, and damn them all to hell. If there was some real journalism, you and I'd be at the front of the line to try to offer our services. But most of this crap is just showbiz. That's all it is.
Somebody said that last summer at Contacting the Desert, they had a huge crowd. They had about 3,000 people.
That's pretty good.
And I can't remember precisely now who it was. It might have been David Wilcock. But anyway, he got up and he was introducing me, and I'd never heard this before. He said, if there was any value to truth and true investigative journalism, Jim Marrs would be a household word, a household name. And I don't know, that could be true.
That's damn true, and maybe one of the few things I've ever heard come out of that guy's mouth that is the truth. I'm not a big fan, but whatever.
I understand.
It's just the whole damn business is full of opportunists and ego strokers, and anyway. But that's just the way it is. When you all of a sudden make a medium as big as the Internet accessible to people, every other person ends up with a talk show or something like that. So that's crazy, and it waters it all down. But what are you going to do?
By the way, I want you to know that I've been offered a radio program that would cover not only the United States but also the UK and most of Western Europe.
Yeah, I was on that satellite for a long time, all over Europe.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's really kind of enticing, but I'll tell you, the only way I could do that is if I have a staff. And I can barely keep myself afloat.
Oh, that'll grind you up into nothing, no time. It's too much. Yeah, I was on that same satellite, and then a certain group, shall we say, pressured that satellite to drop me because they didn't like the truth.
They don't want the truth getting out.
No.
And they got more money than the satellite group.
You bet. Yep. So I mean, it's a nice thing.
That's the way it works, man. That's we have the best truth communication system that money can buy.
Yeah.
And what I like is hearing Hillary back on a news clip from, I'm sure earlier, she says, talking about her transparency. And I was thinking, boy, she's right.
Kidding.
No, I was thinking she's right. I can see right through her.
Oh, yeah, that's for damn sure. Well, don't worry, Jim, because if she gets, if they succeed with this coup and they install her, the economy is going to prosper because she's going to put Bill Clinton in charge of it. Don't worry.
No,
he's going to actually be in charge of our economy.
I don't care who gets in, and this may be why the New World Order people are beginning to back off, and they may actually pull back on some of this stuff, and they may even decide that they're going to go ahead and let Trump get in.
Well, I said that. We've talked about that.
I know, because no matter who gets in, starting after Christmas, probably the economy's going to start shredding, and they probably would think, we'd be better, we can blame it on Trump,
Or they'll just put Trump in, and then their boy Pence, who is a globalist, they'll have an accident with the president, and Pence will be in there, or Kane will be in there. In either case, they win.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's how they operate. They play both ends against the middle.
Yeah, I think that
I just wish my new book shadow of the Illuminati was already out so people could read it and understand how these things work. But no, publishing wheels.
When's it coming out?
Slow. It'll be out next June.
What the hell? There may not even be an Illuminati by next June.
I know. Don't get
Why
me
don't
started.
they get it? Why don't they fast-track these things? What's wrong with them?
Because they're hidebound. They've always done it this way. They're going to have to do it this way again, okay? And yet you and I both know with technology the way it is today, they could take a huge, big manuscript and turn it into book form and have it on bookshelves in a month.
30 days.
30 days, yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Never has.
They have to go. I'm telling you, they're hidebound. They have to go to the book fairs, and they have to go to the booksellers convention, and they have to go to this and that, and they have to have sales meetings, and by the time they get through with all this, a year's gone by.
I can't.
It's incredible. Of course, I'm particularly irked at that system because as a newspaper reporter, I had a 11:30 in the morning deadline, and by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that paper was printed and on your doorstep.
You got it. Yeah, my dad was a newspaper man, and he worked for a newspaper, the old Los Angeles Daily News, and that paper had 5 issues a day, 5 editions a day. Talk about on the man. It was interesting. And the front page was, and the back page was a peach color, kind of a light peach color. They used to call it the peach. It was the biggest paper in L.A., the L.A. Daily News. And I know what you're talking about. But
and it was competition to the L.A. Times.
Oh, the Examiner, the Times, the Herald.
Nobody gets that, folks. Folks, you do not get that eclectic alternative version of news and information today. You don't. It comes from the major newspapers, all controlled or owned by the same 5 corporations.
And who did that? Who deregulated it? The Clintons.
That's right.
The Clintons did it. That's why you got no diversity in your news. That's why it's all the same. It's all product. It's all mind control. Tavistock, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same, and it's mass manipulation. It's social engineering, and it's all done by the same damn people. 6 corporations headed to 5, and that's it. And if you got a job in it, believe me, all those people, they know. They don't even have to be told what to do or what not to do.
Oh no,
they know. They don't want to lose their job. Their ego, and they're on camera.
Well, number one, you don't get hired unless they pretty well know that you're going to follow along with the party line. And then if you do get hired and you don't follow, then they will talk to you. And if you're lucky, you'll get a few warnings. And then
if you're lucky,
you're gone.
Yeah, I was a news director as well, and television, and I had one staff was 27 people. And I'm telling you, I believe those people wanted to be on camera so badly, those who were. I could have had all the people who were reporters or anchors or whatever, feature people who were on camera, I could have had them paying me to be able to work in that business. That's how badly they want to be celebrities. They love it. I'm serious. They'll do anything.
That's it. Well, I know that. I mean, newspapers still struggle to find good people because nobody thinks being a newspaper reporter is that glamorous, and I'm not sure they ever were. But, boy, radio, TV, that's a different deal, man. If you're the voice on the radio, or particularly if you're the pleasant face on the TV, you know, you make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Wow. You are adored by the public. People come up and ask for your autographs. It's kind of like being a movie star.
It's exactly. It is a movie star. That's what it is now. You can't get into the movies.
It is, but does that mean you're a journalist? And particularly, does that mean you're a good journalist? No.
You're a propaganda pusher is all you are.
That's right.
Some of these people, makes me want to puke. I just look at I can't. I see it I don't have TV. I look at it on the internet, and I just, man.
I don't think I've watched a complete 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock news report in years.
I told you, I tell the story.
Usually there's nothing there that's of any use to me.
I have produced and anchored over 5,000 half-hour and 1-hour newscasts. live TV. And I know that business inside and out. And when I see something on there that is so contrived, I'd laugh if it wasn't so sickening, because it does impact people, and people do buy into it, and they stare at it. And the first time you look at TV, it takes about 30 seconds before you become brain entrained. And then after the first couple of times, it takes 2 or 3 seconds, and you're in an altered state. And that stuff goes right into your subconscious. You no longer have the tools or the ability or the consciousness to make rational decisions about what you're hearing and what you're seeing. It goes right into your subconscious. That's
true.
The nature of the business.
That's right. That's why it's so effective. Speaking of graft and TV and commercials, do you remember 2, 3, 4 years ago, after Hurricane Katrina, in the Super Bowl, and you can just imagine what 60 or 30 seconds cost you in the Super Bowl, okay?
Sure.
There was these pleas from the Clinton Bush charity, or whatever they called it, the Katrina Fund, contribute to the poor people who were displaced by Katrina. Remember that?
Yeah,
well,
sure.
you know damn well if they were paying for the thousands of dollars it takes to get a few minutes on the Super Bowl.
Millions and millions.
Millions. You know they were bringing in millions. Did anybody ever check to see where that money went? Did
No,
it end
never.
up in the Clinton
No,
Foundation?
we know where it went. Same place the money...
Did it end up buying those 300,000 acres in Paraguay for the Bushes?
That's right. That's right.
Where did that money go? Nobody knows, and nobody seems to care, because
Billions of dollars.
It was on television. It was Super Bowl. Yay, team.
Wow.
They don't care. They don't know. They don't care.
They don't know. They don't care. It's election eve here, and it has been a year and a half plus, and I'm proud to say I was endorsing Donald Trump before he announced. I think many of you listen and remember that. Many of you, the same thing. We've done our best to report this. Jim has been heroic. We've told it straight. We're up against an enormous monolith of media that lies and brain controls and conditions people, and it's not going to stop. It just isn't going to quit.
Just when you go vote tomorrow, remember to wear something red.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You know, damn, Hillary was wearing something red on a campaign stop today.
Well, she probably heard about that and is making a counter move.
No doubt. And don't buy into this stuff about how there's some kind of a counter coup going on to the Clinton coup that's underway. There's no counter coup. That was BS. Complete crap.
And Jeff, I've heard something along that line for a number of years now, and my standard response is, I'll believe all that when they stop chemtrailing.
And they stop chemtrailing, and when they stop announcing, there's a counter coup, we're underway here, we're fighting. You don't you do it. You never announce it. My God, you don't announce who you're going to bomb in a war in advance.
That's right, like we've been doing. No wonder we can't defeat ISIS.
Well, we're not supposed to.
Of course not. We created them. We armed them. You know, it's still going on. That's why they had to kill Ambassador Stevens, because he was aware of the Stinger missiles that were going to ISIS.
Okay. Who killed him? Hillary Clinton. There's another dead body on her hands. Okay.
Well, three or four actually.
And what about? Oh God, how about 500,000 in Iraq?
I was just talking about just the ones in Benghazi.
Yeah. What about the FBI agent who was linked 9 years on the FBI, who was linked to leaking Hillary emails? Last Friday, he shot his wife to death. He got gasoline. He doused his house. Then he lit it on fire and shot himself to death. And if you believe that, I got a nice piece of property in the swamp to sell you. Of course, if Donald drains the swamp, it'll be worth money. Now listen, they're killing people already is what I'm trying to tell you, and there are going to be more people dying here.
I know it, and this was a veteran FBI official, okay?
That's right.
Now, if they can do that and get away with it, if they can kill the President of the United States and get away with it, you know, what would they stop at? Nothing.
No, Jim,
this is what we're trying to tell you.
Jim's been in this heavily 53 years of the Kennedy assassination. He knows more about that than anybody alive, and he'll tell you. And he says it. You know, it's take it to the bank. Actually, you don't want to take anything to the bank anymore.
No, don't take it to the bank.
God, no.
Take it to the credit union. That might not survive.
All right. What we're lacking is beauty in the world. And on this last program, I'm going to do a minute or two of time out for beautiful music. Just for a minute or two.
And you've got it, I'm sure.
I'm ready. Here we go. Okay, don't forget about beautiful things and all this horror we live in. People forget about that. Remember, there's some beautiful things out there. And most of those beautiful things are you people. You have a lot to offer other people. Kindness and care. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it's priceless. Thank you, James. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. I don't know when. We're going to try and get you in here in the second hour, maybe toward the end of that.
Just try me. If my line's busy, just call back.
Okay.
And folks out there, just go vote. Please, go vote. Whatever, go vote.
Amen. Thank you, my friend. Talk to you tomorrow.
Even though it's rigged.
Indeed. All right. Night, Jim. All right. That's our program on this election eve. Thank you for being here. And we will be back tomorrow night. And I'd sure be nice if we had some great news, wouldn't it? It's kind of up to us to get out there and just overwhelm the voting. Hope you do, and we'll talk tomorrow night.